It looks like Shane Steichen had his press conference today, and definitely some things to talk about, so let's get straight to it. What is going on, guys? Your boy Joey Shake72 coming to you guys with a video right now. So I want to go over Shane Steichen's press conference, which was, it was very interesting. We heard some stuff, what happened with the play calling from last year going to this year. Will Shane Steichen be calling the plays for this year? So what Shane did say, and first he talked about Jalen Hurts and saying that there hasn't really been an offseason for Jalen Hurts. He's been working his tail off. His talent is really starting to show, and he's excited for him playing this year, which is great. So I'm glad we're hearing that Jalen Hurts is looking a lot more sharp and much better going into this offseason. And, a lot more of this offseason. Still got, training camp, the rest of OTAs. But to hear from last year, and this is what Shane said. I'm going to read this real quick and then kind of elaborate on it. So he said, I think last year we were new and we were evolving as an offense. And that was the season got going on. I ended up taking over more of the play calling mid-season. And then again, Nick has a stamp on every single thing we do. So in the meeting rooms, he has a stamp on everything we do. Every play that's on the call sheet, he makes sure that it's justified and we're good to go. So going forward, I'll be calling the plays next year, and we'll go from there. It starts with Nick and the head coach. Steichen said he does a hell of a job game planning, and then we go from there. And on game day, he's the head coach. If he wants something called, he'll tell me and I'll get it called. So I mean, I kind of already talked about this. Nick had more control of the play calling early last year, and it didn't look good. We didn't run the ball. Our offense looked one-dimensional, and I think Shane Steichen took over. I think it was probably that Chargers game, second half, and Nick was kind of making adjustments. So Shane would call the plays last year and, mid-season, like I said, and Nick would, if Shane Steichen has 4 to 5 plays already on his sheet that he's going to be calling and certain things aren't working with matchups or whatever, Nick would come in and kind of change some things, and elaborate that to Shane, and then Shane, calls the plays in that way that Nick wants it. So I feel like this is like another Doug Pearson situation where Nick Sirianni maybe can't be a play caller. I don't know, because, we gave Doug a lot of credit, but at the same time, with Frank Reich, he was the main brains of the offense. I'm not saying that Shane Steichen is Frank Reich, because Shane Steichen still had a lot of things to fix at the end of last year. He did say he is taking over play calling for 2022, so we're getting Shane Steichen all year. Okay, the pressure is on him. I think he's on the hot seat. That's just what I think. Treating Jalen Reagor like a number one receiver, and the game planning for the playoffs last year were horrible. With Devontae Smith not getting the ball till the third quarter, Boston Scott and Jordan Howard not getting the ball to the third quarter. Miles Sanders was almost out for 3 weeks and he got most of the snaps, so it really made no sense. We already had enough issues on defense, and Shane Steichen had a really up and down mid-season to the end of last season form of how he was using these players, and I didn't like his play design, his route combinations for wide receivers, who he was scheming to get open. And I don't think Nick really helped it that much. I mean, look, I think Jalen Hurts got better at the end of last year, but if your quarterback is struggling, you got to help him out. And, I think this is a pivotal year for Shane Steichen. I think, Nick is giving it more in his hands for the 2022 season, and I guess we'll see how many changes and what's going on. So that's really it. I mean, I'm not surprised on some of the things that were said about last year. Nick is going to lay off a little bit, and fix things when he has to, and give his input on certain things that need to be changed when Shane is calling the plays and what he's trying to do with this offense. Now, obviously, this is a collaborative effort every single game. So after every game, they have a meeting, and before every game, they have a meeting and pretty much say, look, this is what we have to do, and this is what we have to scheme with this player and that player and this player. So, I mean, I'm not saying that both coaches had a failed season last year, but there were definitely a lot of mistakes on both sides between Nick early in the season and then obviously Shane Steichen taking over the play calling, which we heard kind of at a press conference last year that Shane kind of took over a little bit more, and Nick had his input on certain things with Shane calling the plays when things didn't work out. So this is going to be a big year. There's no excuse for what the offense that you have. You know, you have a quarterback that's trying to prove himself and obviously help your quarterback if he is struggling. And you got to scheme the right players open. I mean, you know what I mean? You got to scheme the right guys open and get this thing going because, you know, once defenses make this team one-dimensional, stop making this an RPO / read option offense. And I understand that's Jalen Hurts' strength and, but he's got to be more of a pocket passer and get these guys open. You got A.J. Brown now. I mean, Quez Watkins moves on the inside. Zach Pascal's going to be coming in on, certain situations. And that's Nick Sirianni's pet at this point. I'm looking for a really big year from Shane Steichen as the offensive coordinator with Nick collaborating at the same time. So let me know what you guys think about Nick taking over the plays. I mean, Shane Steichen taking over the plays for the 2022 season. I mean, I'm really not surprised. You know what I mean? But obviously Nick is still going to incorporate his stuff in it. And I think all the power is going to Shane this year, but I think what Nick's going to do is if certain things aren't happening the right way during games, if he doesn't like the matchups, doesn't like some of these plays, he's gonna start adjusting some things in game, which I think is going to happen. So other than that, guys, that's pretty much it. You guys let me know what you guys think about this, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Shakes what up, Flaggles Fly. Sorry. Peace out, guys.